What is up, YouTube? This is Neo Von Gold Secondo bringing you a Burning Abyss deck profile. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I like to start off with 3 Graph. He is easily like an MVP in this deck. He gets you anything from the deck that you need when he's sent to grave, which is so helpful. This makes the deck so fast. You need to run him at 3. He's incredible. Then next, I like to run 3 copies of Skarm, because you kind of need to. He searches out your whole deck at the end turn, super important, gets you your tour guide, gets all your plays running. So yeah, you need to run 3 of him. Then I like to run 3 copies of Chir, because he gets you anything from your graveyard, which is really important in Burning Abyss, considering everything goes to the graveyard. Like, there's no tomorrow. So he recycles everything from your graveyard. He gets your Dantes back, gets your Virgils. Really important at 3. Then next, I like to run 2 copies of Levique because he gets you a free monster from your hand, it makes your Burning Abyss monster indestructible on board from their own stupid effect that blows them up, which can be useful at times, but sometimes can really hurt when you need to make something like an Alucard. So really good at 2. 3 is a bit cloggy, but 2 is the perfect amount, I feel. Then next, I like to run 3 Farfa. Breaks the Jin Law, gets over any nasty monster you don't really feel like dealing with. He is amazing at 3, doesn't clog, a good wall if you need him. Just really helpful at 3. Then next, I like to run 2 Rubik. I know a lot of people like to run 3, just for the reason that he's a blank Burning Abyss monster, so he works at 3 because you don't have to waste an effect. However, I feel for the argument for that, if you're worried about wasting an effect, it doesn't really matter if you're wanting just a blank target, because you're just having an effectless monster. So I feel it's better to have more Burning Abyss monsters with effects to use for special summon fodder as well, because worst case scenario, you can use them for their effect. That's why I like to keep them at 2. Besides, I don't like drawing into them in a bad situation. And I make Virgils very consistently, even without the 3rd one, so I'm happy with this at 2. 1 Leech and 1 Calcab. I like running 1 of each because a Leech is really good for the Acid Golem plays. Calcab occasionally bounces a really annoying card, like for instance, Deep Prison's pretty popular right now, so it's just nice to just be able to bounce a card, deal those nasty mirror forces that just make you have to reset everything. So it's nice to just have him as an option there. And a Leech, she's just perfect for Acid Golem because it makes you able to run over something and not worry about having to take damage later in the game. So I like them both at 1. That's it for the Burning Abyss monsters. Now I like to run 1 copy of Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide is really helpful. Well, I can only run 1 since she's limited. Way to go, genius. So she's amazing because she summons basically anything from your deck and just gets your plays going off. Summoner, get Graph out. You're basically set as long as they don't stop that initial play. So yeah, she's amazing. Miss her being at 3. The next I like to run Crane because he's basically a tour guide late game, which is super helpful sometimes because I only even like when Tour Guide was at 3, it was slightly annoying when you would draw Tour Guide late game and you would have like no good targets. Well, Crane kind of fixes that because late game all your targets are kind of in the grave. However, I don't like running more than 1 Crane because I don't like drawing him first turn. But late game, he's incredible to use. So yeah, that's it for the monster lineup. Now, I know I might get hate for not running a Mathematician, but I don't know. I love Mathematician as a card. He's an amazing card. Don't like him in Burning Abyss because it's too slow. I have to wait a turn to get a good play off, and I really am not patient enough for that. I will fully admit that's probably the reason that I don't run him, is I'm just not patient enough for the 1 turn wait. So yeah, that's why I don't run Mathematician. I run 3 copies of MST, just because back row is annoying to deal with. So it's just nice to just have free outs to it. I apologize for the ugliness of only 1 holo MST. I'm going to fix that in the future, but it's what I have at the moment. So yeah, 3 MST, standard. 2 Mass Change the second, because I don't necessarily rely on Dark Law as much as most other Burning Abyss decks, but it's always nice to have that option for when I'm going up against Burning Abyss, or Necros. So it's always nice to have the Mass Change 2 ready. And I feel 2 copies of it's enough. I see it often enough for me not to need a third one. Plus, I'm kind of tight on space. I don't really feel like looking for a new card to replace it with. Or to replace with a third one. I don't want to swap anything out. The next, I run the One Book of Moon. Standard. Breaks the gym lock and such. Well, not breaks it, but like lets me go off for a bit. Enemy controller. It's pretty nice just to be able to steal a monster and plus off Tributing a Burning Abyss. Foolish Burial, dump Graph, dump Cheer. Basically dump anything with your deck. It's basically a perfect card for this deck. One Dark Hole and one Raigeki for board clearing. I might bring in a third Dark Hole. I'm not sure. I mean, second Dark Hole. Just because, why not? I like being able to destroy the entire board and like plus off of it, so there's no reason not to. I apologize for the stuttering, by the way. Next, I like to run 2 copies of Karma Cut. I like it a little more than Wind Blast right now because it helps me deal with really annoying monsters, and because Necros and Burning Abyss are my most common matchups, it's really helpful to just be able to just banish their monster and all copies of it so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the duel. Really helpful sometimes. And then the one Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, just because it still is a great card. It's amazing. Gets a plus off of the Burning Abyss, so it's really good. Then next, more for board clearing, I like to run the Torrential Tribute, because I can still plus of it on my opponent's turn, and they can just be kind of set back from it for a little while. So it's nice just to have it. I apologize for that horn. Very rude of them. I run the 1 copy of Mind Crush, but that's mainly just because I don't have 2 more copies. I love this card to death. You should be running it at 3 if you can. It's so good. Next, I run Vanity's Emptiness, standard. The 1 Mirror Force, standard. I probably should bump it up to 2 at some point, but I'll get to there eventually. Crush card. Oh my god, Crush card. This card is incredible. It's so good, especially if you can manage to combo it with Dark Law. It's basically a good game. It's so good. I wish I could run like 4 of them. The next, Solemn Warning. Standard, pretty good. And then the 1 Fire Lake. I was running it at 2 till recently, but I don't really use it as much because it doesn't do much to a lot of decks anymore, sadly. Clees aren't as popular, so there's no need for me to run it. Although I'll normally side it for locals and stuff. Yeah. That's it for the main deck. So now I'm going to move on to the extra deck. And 1 second. I'm currently borrowing my Alucard in another deck, so here we are. I apologize for this, so unprofessional. First, I run 3 Dantes. You really need to. If you're not running 3 Dantes and Burning Abyss, you're making a mistake. Too good. It's too good of a card. Makes everything perfect. 1 Temtempo. This is the special super rare edition that I got from ancient shop in the middle of the city. No, I'm messing with you. My friend just gave me some cutout art that would look funny on this card, so I just thought, yeah, why not? Giga Brilliant. Pretty good card, really good in the mirror match. You can boost Dante up just enough to run over the opponent's Dantes. Really good. Leviathan Dragon, basically just there so I have a card that I can just detach just to get an effect. That's pretty much it. I don't normally make him. Nightmare Shark, steals games. Ghost Trick Alucard, great for dealing with back row. Just amazing monster all around. Acid Golem of Destruction, amazing monster, great with Leech plays, runs over really big beefy monsters I can't deal with normally. 2 copies of Downer Magician. She's great when your Dante's out of materials, just put her on top of there. Great when you Leech your Acid Golem. She's just great card. 2 copies of Masked Hero Dark Law, because I have the 2 Mass Change seconds, so I run the 2 of them. It's good at 2. I like this card's incredible. Works great against Burning Abyss, great against Necros. It's so good. Definitely not broken. And last but not least, the 2 Virgils. you need to run 2 Virgils because one's not enough, three's too many. Because you're never going to make 3, but you always want the extra one in case one of them gets banished, which does happen way too often. So yeah, 2 Virgils. So that's that for my Burning Abyss deck profile. Thank you for watching, and I apologize for the shaky quality. I don't really have a good camera at my disposal at the moment, but I'm going to try to fix that in the near future. So, ciao ciao. See you next time.